What comes to mind when you think of North Korea? Maybe you picture military parades or images of widespread poverty. But there's another side to this secretive nation, a world of unimaginable luxury reserved for a select few. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on Pyongyang's 1%. The elite, who live in a reality completely separate from the rest of the country. Imagine strolling through a city where, just for the elite, there are specialized department stores stocked with foreign goods. Think high-end European cosmetics, Swiss watches, and designer handbags. While most of the population struggles with food shortages, this privileged class can dine at gourmet restaurants, sipping cappuccinos and enjoying lavish meals. They have access to state-of-the-art fitness centers, sparkling swimming pools, and even equestrian clubs. It's a lifestyle that would seem normal in any global capital. But in North Korea, it's an island of opulence in a sea of hardship. So, who are these people? They are the high-ranking officials, the successful business people who manage state enterprises and their families. Their loyalty to the ruling regime is their most valuable currency. This loyalty grants them access to a life of comfort and security that is beyond the wildest dreams of the average citizen. They live in modern high-rise apartment complexes in the heart of Pyongyang. With reliable electricity and running water, amenities that are a luxury elsewhere in the country. These residential areas are often guarded, creating exclusive enclaves that physically separate them from the general populace. Their children attend the best schools and universities, preparing them to inherit their parents' status and continue the cycle of privilege. They're often the ones sent abroad to study or work, gaining exposure to the outside world while remaining fiercely loyal to their home country's ideology. You might see them driving imported cars, a stark symbol of status on streets where vehicles are a rarity for ordinary people. This is the ultimate reward for unwavering devotion to the state. But this life of luxury is precarious. It's entirely dependent on the favor of the leadership. Political purges are a constant threat, and a fall from grace can mean losing everything overnight. Your home, your status, and even your freedom. The pressure to maintain one's standing is immense. Every action is scrutinized, and any perceived wavering in loyalty can have devastating consequences. This creates a high-stakes environment where alliances are fragile and trust is a rare commodity. The same system that provides them with extraordinary privilege can also take it all away in an instant. The existence of this elite class serves a crucial purpose for the regime. It's a powerful incentive for loyalty. It shows that complete devotion is rewarded with a life of comfort and power. This stark contrast between the lives of the elite and the struggles of the masses is a fundamental pillar of control in North Korea. It's a carefully constructed system designed to ensure the stability and continuation of the ruling dynasty. By creating a class with everything to lose, the regime ensures it has a dedicated group of defenders invested in maintaining the status quo. This hidden world of North Korean luxury offers a fascinating and complex look into how the country operates. It challenges our one-dimensional view and reveals a society with deep internal divisions, where loyalty is the key that unlocks a life of unbelievable privilege. What we see is not just a story of wealth, but a story of power, control, and the intricate social engineering that sustains one of the world's most isolated regimes. What makes a nation tick? Is it the bustling markets, the hum of factories, or the laughter in the streets? Or is it something else, something hidden behind closed doors, in halls adorned with red flags and giant murals? Let's take a closer look. Imagine a world where every morning begins not with the sun, but with a declaration. A world where your path isn't chosen, but assigned. On the surface, you see order. You see progress. Workers march in perfect unison, their faces a mixture of determination and duty. Stern-faced leaders, sitting in neat rows, watch over them from grandstands, their gazes unwavering. Party meetings are the rhythm of life, the drumbeat to which everyone must march. It all seems so efficient, so powerful. But where does this power truly come from? It's not just in the visible symbols or the grand parades. The real engine of power is the Workers' Party. Every rule that governs your day, every restriction that shapes your choices, every punishment that awaits a misstep, it all begins here. In these meetings, under the watchful eyes of painted heroes on the walls, the fate of millions is decided. It's a system built on a singular, powerful idea. In this party, obedience is law. It's the unspoken promise you make every day. You follow the directives, you meet the quotas, you chant the slogans. You become a part of the great machine, a cog that helps turn the wheels of the state. Your individual desires are secondary to the collective goal. Your personal voice is absorbed into the chorus of the masses. This is the foundation upon which the entire structure rests. Unquestioning loyalty. Absolute conformity. And what happens if you don't conform? What if a cog tries to turn in the wrong direction? Disobedience is death. Not always a literal death, though that is a constant, chilling possibility. It can be a social death, where you're cast out, erased from the community. It can be a professional death, where your career and livelihood vanish overnight. Or it can be the silencing of your spirit, the slow crushing of your will until nothing remains but an empty shell, obedient at last. The fear of this consequence is the invisible chain that binds everyone together, ensuring the machine runs without a single hitch. From the grandest policy to the smallest daily regulation, the party's influence is total. It dictates what you read, who you talk to, and even what you're allowed to think. The murals on the walls aren't just art. They're constant reminders of the ideology you must embrace. The marches aren't just for show. They're a physical manifestation of collective will, a display of unity that tolerates no cracks. It's a world where the individual is absorbed by the state, and the state is the party. Think about the sheer scale of it. Millions of people, all moving to the same beat, all guided by the same hand. It's a testament to the power of organization and ideology. But as we look at the stern faces of the leaders and the uniform steps of the marching workers, we have to ask ourselves, what is the true cost of this perfect order? What happens to the human spirit when obedience is the only law and the price of disobedience is everything? It's a question that echoes through the halls of power long after the meetings have ended and the marchers have gone home. Have you ever wondered what it's like to stand on the edge of a knife? A place where one wrong step could change everything? That's the Korean Demilitarized Zone, the DMZ. It's often called the most heavily fortified border in the world, and for good reason. But calling it demilitarized is one of history's greatest ironies. It's a 4-kilometer wide, 250-kilometer long scar that slices across the Korean peninsula, bristling with over 1 million landmines, electric fences, and tank traps. Let's take a trip there, virtually, of course. Imagine standing at an observation post, looking through powerful binoculars. On your side, you see South Korean and American soldiers standing rigid, fists clenched, their sunglasses hiding any hint of emotion. Now, pan across that narrow strip of no man's land. Over there, you see the North Korean soldiers. They're watching you just as intensely. It's a silent, decades-long stare down. The air is so thick with tension, you could almost touch it. This isn't a movie set. This is real, raw, and happening right now. The DMZ is a paradox. It's a place of immense military tension. Yet within its boundaries, nature has found a sanctuary. Because humans have stayed out for nearly 70 years, rare and endangered species have flourished. Amur gorels, Asiatic black bears, and even rumors of Siberian tigers roam this accidental paradise. It's a strange and beautiful testament to nature's resilience, a vibrant ecosystem thriving in the shadow of potential conflict. This wildlife refuge exists only because of the constant threat of war. But the human story is the most powerful one. For millions of Koreans, this isn't just a border, it's a wound. It separates families, brothers from sisters, parents from children. Think about that for a moment. People who grew up together now living in completely different worlds with no way to communicate. Occasional, highly emotional family reunions have happened, but they are rare and heartbreakingly brief. These brief moments of tears and hugs are a stark reminder of the human cost of this division. One of the most surreal places here is the Joint Security Area, or Panmunjom. It's that famous spot with the blue conference huts sitting directly on the demarcation line. Inside these huts, you can technically cross into North Korea. You can stand with one foot in the south and one in the north. Soldiers from both sides stand face to face, sometimes just meters apart. They are trained to show no expression, to stand perfectly still for hours. It's a psychological battle as much as a physical one. Every move is watched, every gesture analyzed. From the Freedom House on the South Korean side, you can look out and see a massive North Korean flagpole, which for a time was the tallest in the world. It flies a flag so large it takes dozens of people to handle. This was part of the flagpole war, where each side tried to build a bigger, taller flagpole than the other. It sounds almost childish, but it speaks volumes about the deep-seated rivalry and pride that defines this conflict. The DMZ is more than just a line on a map. It's a living museum of the Cold War, a symbol of a nation divided and a fragile hope for reunification. It's a place that forces you to confront the realities of war and the enduring power of the human spirit. It reminds us that peace is precious and division has a real, tangible human price. Thank you for joining me on this journey to one of the most fascinating and tense places on Earth. When the government fails to feed its people, what happens next? When the shelves are bare and the rations run dry, the human spirit doesn't just give up. It adapts. It finds a way. In the silence and shadows, a new economy is born. This isn't a story from a dystopian novel. It's a reality that has played out time and again throughout history, a testament to our incredible will to survive. Imagine this. The city is quiet, but not peaceful. It's the tense quiet of hunger. But as dusk falls, life stirs in the alleyways, in abandoned warehouses, and down by the riverbanks. This is where the black market thrives. It's not a place of greed, not at its core. It's a place of necessity. A farmer with a secret harvest of potatoes, a fisherman who hid a portion of his catch, a family who managed to bake a few extra loaves of bread. These aren't criminals. They're heroes in this upside-down world. The currency here isn't money, which has become worthless paper. The currency is trust, barter, and information. A bag of flour might be traded for a handful of antibiotics. A child's worn-out shoes for a canister of cooking fuel. These exchanges happen in hushed tones, with nervous glances over the shoulder. Every transaction is a risk. Every shared meal is a victory against the system that has failed them. Think about the smugglers. These aren't hardened gangsters. They are ordinary people who've become extraordinarily brave. A teenager guiding a raft across a river under the moonless sky. It's precious cargo, not drugs or weapons, but sacks of grain and rice. A grandmother who sews dried beans into the lining of her coat to get them past a checkpoint. Their hearts pound with fear, not just for themselves, but for the hungry families waiting on the other side. They are the arteries of this new underground economy, pumping life back into a community on the brink of collapse. This hidden world operates on its own set of rules. Word of mouth is everything. You need to know who to trust, where to go, and what time the market opens. A flicker of a candle in a window, a specific knock on a door, a whispered password. These are the keys to survival. These secret networks become lifelines, connecting neighbors and strangers in a shared struggle. In these moments, humanity shines its brightest. People share what little they have. They look out for each other, and they build a society from the ground up, one clandestine trade at a time. These underground economies are a powerful reminder that you can't starve the human spirit. When official channels break down, people will always find a way to create their own. They build new systems, not out of a desire for rebellion, but out of a fundamental need to live, to feed their children, and to care for their neighbors. It's a raw, powerful, and often hidden chapter of human history. Have you ever wondered what goes on behind the closed doors of a military barracks? We see the parades, the crisp uniforms, the symbols of strength and national pride. But what about the people inside those uniforms? What's the reality for a young recruit, far from home, stepping into a world that's designed to break them down before building them back up? The world sees a soldier and thinks of power, of unwavering courage. But pull back the curtain, and you'll find a story of immense personal sacrifice. Imagine waking up before the sun even has a chance to rise. The air's so cold it bites at your skin. Your bed isn't a warm, cozy sanctuary. It's a simple cot in a stark, cold barrack, shared with dozens of others. There's no hitting the snooze button here. The day starts with a jolt, and it doesn't stop. Breakfast isn't what you'd choose for yourself. It's simple, functional fuel. Sometimes it's barely enough to quiet the gnawing hunger in your stomach as you face a day of grueling physical exertion. Every meal is a reminder of the discipline you're here to learn. There's no room for personal preference, only for what's provided. You eat quickly, silently, because time is a luxury you don't have. Every minute of the day is scheduled, controlled, and optimized for one purpose: to transform you. Then comes the training. It's relentless. You're pushed to your absolute physical and mental limits. Your muscles scream, your lungs burn, and your mind begs you to quit. You're running through mud, climbing over walls, enduring conditions that most people would find unbearable. All the while, you're being watched, judged, and pushed harder. This isn't just about getting fit. It's about forging resilience, about learning to function under extreme stress. But it's not just the physical hardship. It's the mental game that truly takes its toll. There's a constant undercurrent of fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of letting your comrades down. You're stripped of your individuality and taught to operate as a single unit. Your old identity fades away, replaced by the collective identity of your platoon. This process can be incredibly isolating, even when you're surrounded by people 24/7, even those who are trained to guard power. To be the instruments of a nation's will often suffer under the very systems they serve. The discipline that makes them strong can also feel crushing. The camaraderie is real, and it becomes a lifeline. The bonds you forge in these harsh conditions are unlike any other. You learn to rely on the person next to you, to trust them with your life. But that doesn't erase the personal cost. The public sees the finished product, a confident, capable soldier. They don't see the tears shed in private, the moments of doubt, or the homesickness that never quite goes away. They don't see the internal battles fought every single day. Inside the barracks, life is a complex mix of hunger, discipline, fear, and an unbreakable sense of duty. It's a world where ordinary people are pushed to do extraordinary things, often at a great personal price. So, the next time you see a soldier, remember the unseen story. Remember the cold mornings, the simple meals, and the immense pressure they endure to become the protectors we rely on. Their strength is not just physical, it's forged in the fires of sacrifice and discipline. Imagine a country where women are the backbone, the silent force holding society together, yet their own lives are dictated by portraits on a wall. This is the reality for millions of women in North Korea. From the crack of dawn, you'll see them in the fields, their hands working the soil to feed the nation. You'll find them in factories, powering the state's industries with their labor. Walk through any market, and it's the women you'll see, skillfully managing stalls, making every single transaction count just to support their families. They are farmers, workers, entrepreneurs, mothers, and daughters. They are everywhere, doing everything. But despite their immense contributions, their existence is framed by an inescapable duty. Everywhere they go, the omnipresent portraits of Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong-il, and Kim Jong-un watch over them. They are taught from birth to bow to these images, to pledge their unwavering loyalty not just in public ceremonies, but in their own homes, where family portraits are often overshadowed by those of the leaders. This act of bowing isn't just a tradition. It's a constant, powerful reminder of where their allegiance must lie with the state above all else, above family, above self. Think about the strength this requires, to carry the weight of a nation on your shoulders while simultaneously being denied the most basic freedoms. The freedom to choose your own path, to speak your mind, to dream beyond the confines of the regime. Their strength is a quiet one, often unseen and uncelebrated by the outside world. It's the resilience of a mother who skips a meal so her child can eat. The determination of a market seller who navigates a complex and restrictive system to earn a few extra won. The quiet courage of a woman who endures hardship without complaint because she has no other choice. These women hold the nation together through their tireless work, their sacrifices, and their unbreakable spirit. They manage households on meager rations, raise children under the constant watch of the state, and often become the primary breadwinners when the official economy fails. In a society that demands absolute obedience, their everyday actions of survival and care are, in themselves, acts of profound resistance. They are the true pillars of North Korean society, yet they receive none of the credit and none of the freedom they so deeply deserve. Their stories are not just tales of oppression. They are testaments to the incredible endurance of the human spirit. Their strength is silent, forged in the fields and factories, but it is absolutely unbreakable. It's a story that needs to be told, a story of the women who are the silent, beating heart of North Korea. Have you ever seen those videos of North Korean rocket launches? It's the massive crowds cheering, officials in crisp uniforms watching giant screens, and of course, Kim Jong-un himself, observing with a look of intense pride. It's a powerful image, one carefully crafted to project strength, technological prowess, and national unity. The regime claims to have conquered space, joining an elite club of nations. But what if I told you that in North Korea, even the sky is part of the script? Let's peel back the layers of this grand performance. When North Korea announces a satellite launch, the world watches. Are they really putting a satellite into orbit? Or is it a cover for testing long-range missile technology? It's a question that keeps international experts busy. We see footage of rockets lifting off, streaking into the sky. But then, things get a little cinematic. The state media often cuts to computer-generated animations, showing a satellite gracefully detaching and orbiting a perfectly rendered Earth. These animations look more like something out of a 90s video game than actual space footage. It raises a critical question. If the launch was a complete success, why rely so heavily on CGI? Compare this to launches from NASA or SpaceX. We get multiple camera angles, live telemetry data, and often stunning real-time video from the rocket itself. We see the stages separate. We see the curvature of the Earth. With North Korea, the visual evidence is much more limited and controlled. We see the launch, then the animation, and finally, the celebration. The crucial in-between part, the verifiable proof of a satellite successfully doing its job, is often missing. Experts have tried to track these supposed satellites, and in many cases, they can't find any signal. The objects appear to be tumbling uncontrollably, or are completely silent, just expensive pieces of space junk. This isn't just about space, though. It's about a much larger narrative. For the people inside North Korea who have limited access to outside information, these broadcasts are reality. They see their nation achieving incredible things against all odds. It fuels national pride and reinforces the idea that their leaders are guiding them to greatness. It's a story of self-reliance and defiance in the face of a hostile world. The cheering crowds you see aren't just for show. For many, the emotion is genuine, born from a lifetime of this carefully managed information. So, when you see the next grand announcement from Pyongyang, look closer. Look beyond the perfectly timed cheers and the dramatic music. Ask yourself what's real and what's produced for the camera. Because the story of North Korea's space program is a masterclass in political theater, where the lines between reality and fiction are deliberately blurred. It's a reminder that what we are shown is often not the whole picture, but a single, carefully framed scene in a much larger play. The regime claims to reach for the stars, but it seems many of their biggest victories are simply staged for an audience back on Earth. Have you ever heard of a city that's a complete illusion? A place with towering buildings, bright lights, and perfect streets, but with one crucial thing missing: people. Welcome to the eerie world of North Korea's propaganda villages. Imagine looking across a border and seeing a bustling, modern town. You see lights flicking on and off in apartment buildings, you hear patriotic music playing from loudspeakers, and you see pristine, colorful facades. You might think, wow, life over there looks pretty good. But what if it was all a lie? That's the reality of Kijangdong, also known as Peace Village. Built in the 1950s right after the Korean War. It sits in the demilitarized zone, the heavily fortified border separating North and South Korea. From the south, it looks like a thriving collective farm. But for decades, observers with binoculars noticed something strange. The lights in the buildings turned on and off at the same time every night, on a timer. The windows had no glass, just painted-on details. And the only movement was from soldiers occasionally sweeping the empty streets to maintain the illusion. These weren't homes, they were concrete shells. The residents were a fiction, designed for one purpose: propaganda. The goal was to lure South Koreans into defecting, to showcase the supposed prosperity of the North. It was a massive, expensive piece of political theater. For years, the two Koreas were locked in a strange kind of competition. When South Korea built a 98-meter-tall flagpole, North Korea responded by building one that was 160 meters tall. Flying a flag so heavy, it reportedly needs a team of people to handle it on a windy day. But Kijangdong isn't the only example. Satellite images and defector testimonies have revealed other similar projects. Take the city of Samjian, near the Chinese border, and the sacred Mount Paektu. It was massively redeveloped and hailed as a socialist utopia. News reports showed gleaming new apartments, ski resorts, and modern facilities. However, when you look closer, reports suggest that many of these buildings are unoccupied. They were built with incredible speed, often using shock worker brigades, but the infrastructure to support a real population just isn't there. It's another Potemkin village, a facade built to impress foreign visitors and project an image of strength and success to its own people. So why build these ghost cities? It's all about perception. For the North Korean regime, maintaining an image of a powerful, successful nation is paramount. These projects serve as powerful internal propaganda, showing citizens the grand vision of their leaders, even if the reality is far different. They're also meant for the outside world, a way to control the narrative and counter stories of hardship and poverty. It's a form of psychological warfare, where buildings are weapons and an empty city is a statement. It's a strange and fascinating glimpse into how far a country will go to control its own story. These hollow cities, with their scheduled lights and spotless, empty streets, are monuments to a reality that doesn't exist. They are silent, concrete testaments to the power of propaganda. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie hidden deep within a nation's forests? Not ancient ruins or forgotten legends, but sprawling palaces, glittering monuments to modern-day royalty? We're talking about vast estates. So secluded, they're practically invisible to the outside world, complete with every imaginable luxury. Imagine driving down a private road, cut through dense woods, only to arrive at a gate that opens to a world of opulence. These aren't just houses. They are fortresses of wealth. Inside these hidden compounds, the story gets even more incredible. Picture this: grand halls where the walls and ceilings are literally covered in gold leaf, reflecting light from massive crystal chandeliers. Every room is a masterpiece of extravagant design, filled with priceless art, custom-made furniture, and the finest materials sourced from around the globe. It's a level of luxury that most people can only dream of, a reality for a select few. Think of long, echoing corridors leading to dozens of bedrooms, private cinemas, indoor swimming pools, and even personal museums showcasing collections of everything from rare artifacts to vintage cars. And it's not just what's on the surface. Beneath these golden halls lies a labyrinth of secret tunnels. These aren't dusty old passages. They are state-of-the-art subterranean networks connecting different parts of the estate, designed for ultimate security and discretion. These tunnels can lead to underground bunkers, secure vaults, or even hidden garages housing fleets of luxury cars. We're talking about the latest models from Rolls-Royce, Ferrari, and Bugatti, all lined up, gleaming under artificial lights, ready to be driven at a moment's notice on private roads far from the public eye. This world of unimaginable wealth, of secret palaces and golden rooms, exists in stark contrast to another reality. While these halls shine with gold, millions of people in the same land face a daily struggle for survival. While feasts are held in grand dining rooms, many go to bed hungry. This isn't a fairy tale or a movie plot. It's a jarring truth playing out in our world today. While millions starve, the ruling family lives in a bubble of unimaginable luxury, their palaces shining like beacons in a land grappling with darkness. The sheer scale of this disparity is hard to comprehend. The cost of just one of those luxury cars could feed thousands of families for a year. The gold used to decorate a single room could fund schools or hospitals for an entire region. It raises profound questions about power, responsibility, and justice. How can such a divide exist? And what does it say about a system where a few live in such splendor while the many endure hardship? The story of these hidden palaces is more than just a tale of wealth. It's a story about the world we live in and the choices that shape it. Imagine walking a path that doesn't exist on any map. A trail etched, not in dirt, but in whispered secrets and desperate prayers. Tonight, we journey into the shadows to uncover the world of clandestine escapes. These aren't thrilling spy stories. They're the raw, unfiltered sagas of people who risk everything for a chance at a new life. We'll start in the biting cold of snow-covered mountains, where the wind howls like a hungry wolf, and every step could be your last. Here, guides, often no older than teenagers, lead groups through treacherous passes. They rely on ancestral knowledge of the land, navigating by the stars and the feel of the ground beneath their feet. The air is thin, the danger of avalanche is constant. Frostbite is a relentless enemy, and the silence of the vast white expanse is both a comfort and a terror. One wrong move, one misplaced footstep, could send a person plummeting into a crevasse, lost forever to the ice. It's a gamble where the stakes are life itself. From the frozen peaks, our journey descends to the winding, inky black rivers that snake through dense jungles and remote territories. Picture this: a small, rickety boat, overloaded with silent passengers, gliding through the water under the blanket of a moonless night. The only sounds are the gentle dip of a paddle and the frantic beating of hearts. The riverbanks are alive with unseen dangerous patrols, predators, and the constant threat of being discovered. Every ripple on the water surface could signal an approaching threat. For those on board, the river is both a lifeline and a potential watery grave. They place their trust entirely in the hands of a guide who knows the currents, the hiding spots, and when to move and when to stay perfectly still. These routes are often called underground railroads, a modern echo of a historic fight for freedom. But they are far from being organized networks. More often, they are a fragmented chain of trust, a series of handoffs from one stranger to another. A farmer might offer a barn for a night. A driver might hide people in a secret compartment. A shopkeeper might provide a meal and a coded message for the next leg of the journey. Each link in this chain is fragile, and a single betrayal can have devastating consequences for everyone involved. Those who escape follow these dangerous routes paths, marked equally by hope and by death. The guides themselves are enigmatic figures. Some are driven by a deep sense of justice, risking their own freedom to help others. They see it as a moral duty, a way to fight back against oppression. Others are motivated by money, turning desperation into a perilous business, and some are a complex mix of both. They are the gatekeepers to these secret worlds, holding the fate of many in their hands. They live a life of constant vigilance, always looking over their shoulder, knowing that one mistake could cost them, and the people they are guiding, everything. Freedom has a price, and for many who embark on these journeys, it's a price they pay with their last breath. The stories we hear are often from the lucky few who make it, the survivors. But for every story of success, there are countless others that end in heartbreak. Lost in the mountains, drowned in the rivers, or betrayed along the way. These are the untold stories, the silent sacrifices made on the invisible frontiers of our world. They are a powerful, gut-wrenching reminder that the pursuit of a better life can be the most dangerous journey of all. What does it take to become a bodyguard for one of the world's most secretive leaders? It's not just a job, it's a lifelong commitment. We've all seen the images, tall, imposing figures in sharp suits, running in a perfect V formation alongside Kim Jong-un's armored limousine. They are the human shield, the last line of defense for the Kim dynasty. But who are these men, and what kind of life do they lead? They are handpicked from the ranks of the Korean People's Army, chosen not just for their physical prowess, but for their unwavering loyalty and pristine family background. Forget what you know about typical security details. These guards are part of an elite unit known as the Main Office of Adjutants, or more colloquially, Office Number 6. Their sole purpose is to ensure the absolute safety of the supreme leader. Their selection process is unbelievably strict. Candidates must be of a certain height, have excellent eyesight, and be masters of marksmanship, taekwondo, and a host of other martial arts. But physical skill is just the beginning. Their entire family history, 4 generations back, is scrutinized to ensure there's not a single hint of disloyalty to the regime. They are, in essence, bred for this role. Once selected, they undergo some of the most intense and secretive training on the planet. This isn't your standard boot camp. We're talking about drills designed to simulate assassination attempts, high-speed evasive driving, and extreme endurance tests. They practice running for miles in full suit and tie, maintaining perfect formation around a moving vehicle, a feat of athleticism and discipline that is staggering to watch. They are trained to be more than just bodyguards. They are living weapons, ready to lay down their lives in a split second without hesitation. Protecting the Kim family is considered the highest honor in North Korea, a position of immense prestige. But it's also arguably the most dangerous job in the country. A single mistake, a moment's hesitation could have fatal consequences, not just for the leader, but for the guard and their entire family. The pressure is unimaginable. They live in a constant state of high alert, their eyes scanning every crowd, every rooftop, every shadow for a potential threat. They don't just guard a man, they guard a dynasty. Their lives are completely submerged into their mission. They live in special compounds, their movements are restricted, and they have very little contact with the outside world, or even their own families. Their identity is erased, replaced by a number and a singular purpose: the protection of the supreme leader. They are shadows, always present but never truly seen, the silent, formidable guardians of a legacy. When Kim Jong-un travels, whether it's to a domestic factory or a foreign summit, his guards are a spectacle in themselves. The sight of 12 men jogging in perfect sync with his car is a powerful piece of political theater. It projects strength, unity, and an almost fanatical level of devotion. It sends a clear message to the world. The leader is untouchable, protected by an unbreakable wall of human loyalty. But what happens when they retire? They serve with distinction and without incident. They may be rewarded with high-ranking positions in the government or military. But the reality is, many of them never reach retirement. The job is a pressure cooker, and the price of failure is absolute. They are the silent sentinels, the running men in suits, forever bound to the fate of the man they protect. Their story is a chilling glimpse into a world of extreme discipline, sacrifice, and the heavy burden of guarding a dynasty. Imagine a world where your daily life, your survival, even your freedom, isn't guaranteed by law or rights, but by what you can afford to pay under the table. This isn't a scene from a dystopian movie. For many in North Korea, it's the stark reality. In a system where official channels are often broken or inaccessible, a hidden economy of bribery has become the engine that keeps life moving. It's a world where, as the saying goes, money speaks, and even the regime listens. So, how does this actually work? Let's start with the basics. Food. In the 1990s, the state's public distribution system collapsed, leading to a devastating famine. Out of this tragedy, unofficial markets, known as Jangmadang, emerged to operate a stall to transport goods. To get the best produce of it often requires a small payment to a local official. It's not just about getting ahead, it's about securing your family's next meal. An envelope sliding discreetly across a table can mean the difference between a full pantry and an empty one. This system of donju, or money masters, has created a new class of entrepreneurs who navigate this complex web of payments to build their businesses. But bribery extends far beyond the marketplace. Think about opportunities. Want a better job? A spot in a good university for your child? Or maybe a permit to travel to another city? Officially, these are determined by loyalty and merit. Unofficially, the right connection and a well-placed gift can open doors that would otherwise remain firmly shut. This creates a deeply unequal society. Your future isn't just shaped by your abilities, but by your family's ability to pay. It's a constant calculation, a game of knowing who to pay, when to pay, and how much. This shadow economy even touches matters of life and death. For those who feel they have no future in North Korea, escaping is the ultimate goal. This journey is perilous, and it's almost impossible without money. Defectors often describe a long chain of payments. Money to a broker who knows the secret paths. Payments to border guards to look the other way as you cross a river in the dead of night. More payments to guides who can lead you through neighboring countries. Each transaction is a gamble, a moment of trust with someone who could just as easily turn you in. Freedom has a price tag, and it's a steep one. The irony here is staggering. The North Korean government publicly condemns corruption and maintains an image of absolute control. Yet, on the ground, this informal system of bribery is what allows many parts of the society to function. It's a coping mechanism, a way for ordinary people to navigate an incredibly restrictive system. It shows the incredible resilience and resourcefulness of people trying to survive. They aren't just victims. They are active participants in a complex system, making difficult choices every single day. This hidden world of bribes reveals a fundamental truth about North Korea, below the surface of state propaganda. There's a dynamic and surprisingly capitalist struggle for survival. It's a system where cash is king and loyalty can be bought. It's a testament to the human spirit's drive to find a way even when all official roads are blocked. Understanding this is key to seeing the real North Korea, a place far more complex than the monolithic image we're often shown. Did you know North Korea holds elections? On the surface, it looks like a scene from any democracy. You see long, orderly lines of people, smiling officials, collecting ballots, and a general sense of civic duty in the air. But if you look closer, something is profoundly different. The ballots. They have only one name on them. This is the reality of elections in the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. They happen regularly. Every 4 to 5 years for the Supreme People's Assembly and local elections too. The state-run media broadcasts images of citizens joyfully participating, often with near 100% turnout. It's presented as the ultimate expression of single-minded unity and support for the leadership. But what choice do the voters actually have? In this system, the winner is decided long before the first ballot is cast. Candidates are pre-selected by the Democratic Front for the Reunification of Korea, a coalition completely dominated by the ruling Workers' Party of Korea. For each district, there is only one candidate. When a voter enters the booth, they are given a ballot with that single name. So, what is the vote for? It's more of a yes or no referendum. To vote yes, you simply take the ballot and place it into the ballot box as is. To vote no, you have to go to a separate special booth to cross out the name. But imagine the social pressure and the potential risk involved in being seen to dissent, even in this small way. Walking to that no booth is a public act of defiance in a society where conformity is paramount for survival. Unsurprisingly, official results almost always report 100% approval for the sole candidate. This process serves a few key purposes for the regime. Firstly, it functions as a census, confirming who is present and accounted for. Not showing up to vote is not really an option. It's considered an act of political treason and can trigger an investigation into you and your family. So, the election is a powerful tool for social control and surveillance. Secondly, it's a piece of political theater designed for both domestic and international audiences. Internally, it reinforces the idea of unwavering national unity and the people's total support for their leader. It's a ritual that strengthens the state's narrative. Externally, it allows North Korea to maintain the facade of being a democratic republic, even using the official name Democratic People's Republic of Korea to support this claim, despite the reality being the opposite. So while we might see images of people casting votes, the concept of choice, a fundamental pillar of any true democracy, simply doesn't exist. It's a performance where the script is already written, the actors know their lines, and the outcome is never in doubt. The vote isn't about choosing a leader. It's about publicly affirming loyalty to the one who has already been chosen for you. What do you think about this system? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. In the heart of Pyongyang, hidden from the prying eyes of the world, lie institutions where North Korea's brightest minds are forged. These aren't just any universities. They are the breeding grounds for the nation's elite, the future scientists, engineers, and leaders who will uphold the Juki ideology. Getting into one is a dream for many, but a reality for only a select few, those who have proven their unwavering loyalty to the supreme leader and the workers. Party of Korea. Imagine walking through the gates of a place like Kim Il-sung University or the Kim Chak University of Technology. The atmosphere is heavy with discipline and purpose. The buildings are imposing, grand structures meant to inspire awe and respect for the state. Inside, the classrooms are a stark contrast of old and new. You'll see students huddled around aging computers, their screens glowing with complex code and scientific formulas. But look up, and on every wall, without fail, you'll see the ever-present portraits of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. Their benevolent smiles watching over every lesson, every experiment, every thought. These students are the top 1%. They have passed rigorous exams and background checks that scrutinize their family's loyalty for generations. Here, they delve deep into subjects like nuclear physics, advanced computer science, and rocket engineering. They are given access to knowledge that is forbidden to the general public. They learn about the outside world, but only through a carefully constructed filter. They study advanced theories and technologies, but always within the framework of serving the nation and defending it from its perceived enemies, primarily the United States. Life for these students is a regimented cycle of study, political indoctrination, and self-criticism sessions. They learn everything they need to know to build weapons, hack foreign networks, and push the boundaries of science for the glory of their nation. They are taught that their intellect is a weapon, a tool to be sharpened and wielded in the service of the supreme leader. They learn about global events, but the narrative is always the same. North Korea is a virtuous, self-reliant paradise under constant threat from hostile imperialist forces. They learn about the internet, but their access is a carefully curated, state-controlled intranet. a digital walled garden that keeps the truth out. So, while they may be masters of complex algorithms and quantum mechanics, there's one fundamental subject that's missing from their curriculum: the unfiltered truth. They learn about the world, but not the real world. They learn about history, but not their own history, untainted by propaganda. They are taught to solve the most complex scientific problems, but they are never taught to question the system they live in. They are the intellectual engine of the regime, brilliant minds confined within an ideological prison, learning everything they can except for the one thing that could set them free. Have you ever wondered what life is really like for young people in North Korea? We often see images of synchronized marches, students in classrooms, or workers in factories, all part of a grand, state-controlled narrative. But behind this meticulously crafted facade, there's a generation of young people whose lives are far more complex and nuanced than we can imagine. From the moment they're born, they are immersed in an environment of intense loyalty to the state. Their education isn't just about math and science. It's a daily indoctrination into the Juki ideology, glorifying their leaders and demonizing the outside world. They learn songs of praise, study the revolutionary history of the Kim family, and participate in mass events that reinforce their collective identity. This is the world they know, the only reality they've ever been taught. Imagine growing up where your career path is largely decided for you, not by your passions, but by the needs of the state. Many young North Koreans are assigned to jobs in factories, farms, or the military. Their daily lives are a testament to discipline and hard work, contributing to a system they are told is the greatest on earth. The tools they use might seem outdated to us like old computers in a classroom, but for them, it's a window, however small, to a world of knowledge, albeit a heavily filtered one. But here's where it gets interesting. Despite the iron grip of the state, human curiosity is a powerful force. Cracks are appearing in this information blockade. Through smuggled USB drives, illegal foreign radio broadcasts, and whispers passed between friends, glimpses of the outside world are seeping in. They're seeing South Korean dramas, listening to K-pop, and learning that the world beyond their borders is not the enemy they've been taught to fear. These illicit bits of culture are planting seeds of doubt and aspiration. A simple pop song can be a revolutionary act, introducing concepts of personal freedom, love, and individual expression that are starkly different from the collective mindset they've been raised in. It's a quiet rebellion, happening in the privacy of their homes, away from the watchful eyes of the authorities. They start to see the discrepancies between the world on their screens and the life they reliving. This is the silent struggle of North Korea's youth. On the surface, they are disciplined soldiers and workers, the supposed future of the regime. But underneath, they are teenagers and young adults, quietly dreaming of a different life. They dream of wearing the clothes they see in foreign films, of speaking their minds without fear, of choosing their own futures. These dreams are small but powerful acts of defiance. The regime knows this, and the crackdown on foreign media is severe. Getting caught can lead to harsh punishments, even for children. Yet, the desire for something more, for a taste of the forbidden world, is often too strong to resist. This generation is caught between two worlds, the one they are forced to live in and the one they secretly dream of. What does this mean for the future of North Korea? It's hard to say. This generation is walking a tightrope. They are the product of the most intense state control, yet they are also the most exposed to outside influences in the nation's history. They are both the regime's greatest hope and potentially its greatest challenge. Their dreams are a quiet force, slowly chipping away at the foundations of the state's narrative. While we see images of uniformity and obedience, we must remember the individuals within the crowd. Each one has a story, a hope, a secret dream. And someday, the collective power of those dreams might just be enough to challenge the darkness and bring about a change that once seemed impossible. Thank you for watching. If you found this glimpse into the lives of North Korean youth insightful, Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into stories from around the world. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below.